Good evening.
Good evening, teacher.
Good evening, all of you.
Good evening, Miss.
He's not here. Devin is not here, right?
He came.
Right. So we'll start the speeches, the presentations. I'm quite excited.
Oh, yeah.
We'll start with
Teacher, you're every day starting with me, so better for a change, isn't it?
Sanaya. Sanaya,
Good evening, teacher.
good evening. Start with it.
Today, so I'm gonna speak about the Sri Lankan Civil War. As you all know, the Sri Lankan Civil War started in 1983.
Can you switch on the camera and talk, Sanaya?
As you all know, the Sri Lankan Civil War started in 1983 and ended in 2019. The origin of the Sri Lankan Civil War was the lie of the continuous rancor between the majority Sinhalese and the majority Tamils. When Prime Minister Mrs. S.W.R.D. Bandaranaike changed, replaced English with Sinhala as the only the official language of the country. This might have disencouraged the Tamil people serving to the forces and serving to the public. Many Tamil people were forced to retire since they weren't fluent in Sinhala, and this was a prelude to the 1958 Royal and the 1968 widespread riots in which hundreds of Tamil civilians died. Sinhala civilians were affected in these outbreaks too. The Civil War was a direct result of the the politics followed. After all of these, the Elam War started in 1983. This made hundreds of people die from both sides. And to stop all this, heroes, Mr. Raj Pranandapulle and Mr. Denzel Kobak and lots of people of the forces gave their lives to the Sorry, teacher, can I have more time? I'm a bit confused about this presentation since this is my first
What? Can I have some time? What?
Because this is my first presentation and I'm a bit confused.
All right, okay. We'll get back to you in a while. Renuka, start.
Is not Eastern.
You can share the screen if you want. I have allowed you.
Teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Teacher, you told me to start, right, teacher?
Yes.
Okay, teacher, one moment. Uh,
Krisit can't hear you.
teacher, I don't have anything to hold on.
Krisit, you're lagging. Krisit, you're lagging with our Krisit, you are lagging. This one won't stop. Renuka, are you ready to start?
Yes, teacher, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay, teacher. Teacher, shall I start?
Yes.
Oh, okay, teacher. Today, I'm going to talk about the great Henry Pedris. Sir Henry Pedris was born in Gaul as the youngest of 5 children, and he was the only son of Junuge the son Pedris, who was the father, and Melino Fernando Pedris, who was the mother. Sir Henry Pedris's father and uncle were leading businessmen at that time. He first attended Royal College in Petta. Later, he joined St. Thomas's College. Over there, he bested in sports and he exceptionally became a really good cricketer. After that, he returned to Royals College and then he engaged in sports activities. He later became a teetotaler and his father wanted him to become a leader in the commercial sector by taking over his business enterprises. Sir Henry Pedris as an officer. With the outbreak of the First World War, the British, who had taken over Ceylon at that time, had created the Ceylon Attack Force, and they raised the Ceylon Colombo Town Guard. Sir Pedris volunteered, and he became the first Sinhalese to be enlisted in the new regiment. Later, he became an excellent marksman due to his excellent horsemanship, and he was made a commissioned officer in the administrative section. And within an year, he was promoted to a captain. After this, there was jealousy felt toward Pedris and his family by the British and their Sinhalese henchman, Solomon Das Mudilia, culminated in false charges being drawn up against Pedris, which eventually led to his court-martial. The sentence was that Pedris was shot by a group. The accusation was that Pedris shot at a group of Muslims and had incited people to march into the city of Colombo from Periagoda. Based on these accusations, he was soon arrested. After his arrest, he was tried by a military court where he was declared guilty and branded a traitor. And his sentence was a death by firing squad and executed on the 7th of July, 1915. Henry Pedris's death was... Many Sri Lankans, even today, think that Henry Pedris's death was not supposed to happen. And there was an investigation for Henry Pedris. and they soon found that the accusations were false, and later he was he reburied with honors.
That's all?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, thank you. Who is this Zara? What, Chris?
Sorry.
This is still the same. It's still the same, Chris. Okay.
You can mute his mic.
Teacher, you can tell him that he is lagging through the chat.
Yeah, I told him. Chris, you are lagging, Puta. Can't hear you. Okay, right. This is Dhananjay and Hashini is also here. Right, I hope Dhananjay and Hashini, are you ready with your presentations? Hashini and Dhananjay?
Teacher, I even don't know what's the presentation because I didn't come last.
Again, Mukut ahaganda denna tekka. It was in the group. At least you are here, no? So wait, sit, stay and wait and listen to this lesson. Listen to the other presentations. ඊළඟ දවසේ ඇවිල්ලා ඔහොම කිව්වොත් නම් හැබැයි බලනවා කට දෙක දෙන්නගේ. Right. Akkana start. Nangi, don't make any noise, Puta. Let's do it slowly. Akana can't hear you. Have you started? We can only see the slide. Why Akana?
Sorry, my mic was unmuted but didn't hear anything.
No, didn't hear.
Yeah. Great, teacher. I'll start then.
Okay.
This incredible cricketer is the Sri Lankan cricket coach and a former professional cricketer. Averaging over 6 wickets per test match, he is one of the most successful bowlers in international cricket and is the first to take 800 wickets in tests. As of March 2021, he has taken more wickets in test matches than any other cricketer. Good evening to all of you. Today, I'll be talking about a significant figure in Sri Lanka. This person whom I'm going to talk about is Muttai Muralitharan. Did you know that cricket was first played in England? Anyways, talking about my presentation. Today, I'll be covering up his biography, his achievements, and his distractions, and then we'll have the question and answers, and finally the conclusion. His biography. Muralitharan was born in 17th April 1972 to a hill country Tamil Hindu family in Kandy, Sri Lanka, the eldest of the 4 sons to Sinasmi Muttai and Lakshmi. Muralitharan's father, Sinasmi Muttai, runs a successful biscuit-making business. Muralitharan's paternal grandfather, Periyasamy Sinasmi, came from South India to work in the tea plantations of central Sri Lanka in 1920. Sinasmi later returned to the country of his birth with his daughters and settled in Tiruchirappalli, Tamil Nadu, India. However, his sons included Muralitharan's father, Muttaya, remained in Sri Lanka.
His achievements. In July 2008, Muratharan and Ajantha Mendis stopped India's strong batting as Sri Lanka won the first test by a record innings and 239 runs in Colombo. Muratharan finished the match with 11 wickets for 110, as India was shut out for 138 in their second innings after conceding a lead of 377 on the fourth day. He was well supported by debutant Ajantha Mendis, an unorthodox spinner with plenty of variation, who took 8 wickets in his debut match. His distractions. Muratharan voiced his frustration at routinely being heckled by Australian crowds, who accused him of throwing one common jeer directed at him was no ball. Following then Australian Prime Minister John Howard's statement that Muratharan was a chucker. In 2004, Muratharan indicated that he would skip future tours to Australia. Tom Moody, the former Sri Lankan coach and former Australian Test cricketer, said he was embarrassed by the derogatory reaction and negative attention directed towards Muttai Muratharan by Australian crowds. Moody stated that as an Australian, when I have been with the Sri Lankan team in Australia or playing against them in the World Cup, it's only the situation we find in the whole of the cricketing world where we had this disgraceful slant on a cricketer. So now I give you all the time to ask questions.
What made you select Muthaiya Muralidharan?
Because I had to keep up to the time limit, and I really wanted to do someone else. But as I discovered him, I thought of doing him.
Have you seen him before?
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't. Okay. So when talking about Muthaiya Muralidharan, I would like to just mention one thing, and he is kind of like a sign or a symbol of solidarity, or rather peace in Sri Lanka when the Tamil and when the LTTE war was going on. Muralidharan being a Tamil, he was a hero among the Sri Lankans, and he won the hearts of all Sri Lankan cricket fans. And he stood by the Sri Lankan cricket team. He supported the all Sinhala Sri Lankan cricket team when his own people, the Tamils, were fighting against the Tamils. So he is a sign and symbol of solidarity and peace. And that is one thing why I personally like and respect and bow towards Muthaiya Muralidharan, because throughout his journey, he has always been talking of Sri Lankans and the Sinhalese with his head held high and with so much of pride and love. Okay. Thank you, Akana. Do you have any more?
Yes, teacher, I have the conclusion.
Yes, go ahead.
Then in my conclusion, in my opinion, Muthaiya Muralidharan had many hardships throughout his way to where he is now, and now he is one of the most renowned bowlers in the world. He retired from Test cricket in 2010, registering the 800th and final wicket on 22nd July 2010 from his final ball in his last Test match. We Sri Lankans are proud to have such a great person as a Sri Lankan. Thank you.
Definitely, definitely. We are all very proud to have him as a Sri Lankan. Yes. And Senuki, are you ready? Senuki?
Teacher, is it okay if it's about a king?
Yeah,
A Sri Lankan king?
No problem. Start.
Teacher, can I share the screen?
Yes, you can. Yes.
Hi everyone. So today I'm going to be talking about King Buddhadasa. King Buddhadasa had been a great king of the dynasty of Lambakshana and was the ruler of Sri Lanka from 341 to 370 AD. King Buddhadasa was not only good at kingship but also had been a talented physician. His father was King Jettatissa II of Anuradhapura and his son was Upatissa I. King Buddhadasa is mentioned in the Mahavasma as the house for compassion. His rule was marked by the philosophy of Dasaraja Dharma imposed by Lord Buddha. The king was not only noted for his noble character, but as an expert physician. It had been equipments whenever he is on the street. The king was prepared to help people, as well as always ready to help whoever needs medical attention. However, King Buddhadasa exceeded the limits of nobility since he cured not only humans but animals too. One of the stories related to his life. One day, when King Buddhadasa was on a visit to Puttavaya Vihara near Tissavara in Anuradhapura, he spotted a huge snake wriggling and rolling on an anthill, apparently suffering from acute pain. The king descended from the royal elephant and told the snake, "I will cure you, but how can I touch you and treat you?" On hearing this, the snake thrust his head into a hole. The king then cut open the belly of the snake and performed an operation. As a token of appreciation, the snake gave him an invaluable gem known as Siyaminiruvana. The king donated the gem to Abhayagiri Vihara. He built many hospitals and appointed many officers. He appointed veterinarians to cure animals. King Buddhadasa established hospitals along the main roads for the benefit of disabled people. He emulated Jivaka, the renowned physician who lived during the time of the Buddha. He also composed a medical treatise known as Saratasangraha. The Mahavasam describes Buddhadasa as a mind of virtue and an ocean of gems. King Buddhadasa had a great devotion to Buddhism, and he was a popular as well as a religious king in the history of Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Right. Kevindu, are you ready?
Yes, miss.
Start.
Good evening, everyone. Today I am going to talk about Ruwanvali Saya. The Ruwanvali Saya is a stupa and a hemispherical structure containing relics in Sri Lanka considered sacred to many Buddhists all over the world. 2 quartz or 1 drona of the Gautam Buddha relics are enshrined, which is the largest collection of his relics anywhere. It was built by King Dutugamunu in 140 BC, who became king of all Sri Lanka after a war in which the Chola king Elara was defeated. It is also known as Mahatupa, Swarnamali Chaitya, Swarnamali Mahachaitya, and Ratnamali Dagaba. This is one of the Solasmasthana and the Atamasthana. The stupa is one of the world's tallest ancient monuments, standing at 103 meters and with a circumference of 290 meters. The original stupa had been about 55 meters in height and was renovated by many kings. The Kaungana Pagoda in Sagaing, Myanmar is modeled after this stupa. The Mahavamsa contains a detailed account on the construction and the opening ceremony of the stupa. The stupa was a ruin in the 19th century and fundraising efforts by a Sinhalese bhikkhu. It was renovated in the early 20th century. The Ruanvali Sayar Restoration Society, most notably the philanthropist Hedrick Apuami, donated 20 million rupees in 1912 for the restoration work. The foundation was founded in 1902 and the final carving of the stupa took place on 17th June 1940.
That's all?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Well, my topic was a well-known person in Sri Lanka, not a place in Sri Lanka, Devidu. Okay?
Okay, miss.
You better listen to the instructions given, na? Right. Okay, Devin, start. Devin and Kulindu, both of you are doing what you're going to do for the Trinity exam, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, start. Right. What time is 5. Good evening, everyone. And today I'm going to be talking to you about the blue whales of Sri Lanka. Well, first I'm going to start my presentation with a quote about blue whales. A blue whale, 30 meters long and weighing over 200 tons. It is bigger than even the biggest dinosaur. Its tongue weighs as much as an elephant. Its heart is as the size of a car. This was said by Sir David Attenborough. So now let me continue with my presentation. That's about, wait a minute. Okay, there's a technical error. Sorry about it. Okay. Kurindu, can we listen to yours?
Yes, teacher. Good evening, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the places you wait. The places you wait. Give me one second. Teacher, can someone else talk? Because there's a problem with the PowerPoint thing. I need to make it and I'll do it.
Okay, Sanaya, can you complete your work, Puta?
Teacher. Okay, good evening. Today I'm going to talk about the Sri Lankan Civil War. And a minute, please. Teacher, there is a technical issue in my computer, so I won't be able to share the presentation.
What, Sanaya?
As I can't move the slide to the other, so I won't be able to share the presentation, teacher.
All right, you just go on with your presentation. You talk, will you? Is it a problem from my device?
Good evening. I'm Sanaya Fernando and
Wait, Sanaya, try again. Just try once more, Puta.
no, this is not moving. I think that's a problem of mine.
Maybe when you were saving, you didn't save the document.
Right, you just check it once again, then I'll move to Krisit. Krisit, but you're lagging, Puta. Start, will you?
Teacher, it's moving, but when I'm sharing this,
Wait, Krisit. Krisit, wait. Krisit, wait. What's Sanaya?
it's moving when I'm not
Teacher,
sharing the screen.
Krisit, wait. Krisit. Krisit, wait. What's Sanaya?
When I'm not sharing the screen, it's moving, but when I am doing it, it's not moving.
Tisha, maybe it's because when you are sharing the screen, like all of a sudden, like a huge algorithm comes to your laptop, so it needs time to like calculate what's happening. It happens always to me as well, Tisha. Like when
So
you
what
like
should they do?
Tisha, I think you had to wait for a while. That's what I did.
Sanaya can try. Krisit, what are we going to do with your connection today? Krisit,
Can teachers hear me now?
Tisha, everyone's connection is a whole walk today.
Still can't hear.
now can hear. No, once again, no.
Tisha?
Yes.
Tisha, you can hear me correctly, right?
I'll tell you what.